Hi everybody, it's Karen at Simply Living for Him. I'm here to do my daily devotional. These devotionals are found on the YouTube channel and also in the Simply Living for Him online women's community. So if you enjoy them, you can join the community at simplylivingforhim.com/community, or you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. Colossians 2, 8-10 talks about not getting caught up in deceitful people and things that, being deceived by others or false teachers. And I wanted to do this is just like a little bit of a spin on that thought, being very wise and discerning and not getting caught up in, what other people are saying as truth, and knowing what God's word says is true. And something that I've been turning over in my mind a lot lately is, yes, so that is very true. But I'm going to say, don't get caught up even in like your own deceptive thoughts. And what I mean by that is, I don't know about you, but this has happened to me. And so I'm sure if it's happened to me, it must happen to others, because I doubt I'm alone in this. But how many times do we waste time with a narrative in our own mind? It can be a narrative about other people. It can be a narrative about a situation. We make up this whole thing in our mind about what's maybe we think is going on with someone, or maybe we think someone feels a certain way about us. And we have to be really careful that we know what is true and what is not true, because we can deceive ourselves. And I think because of social media these days, and we see little snippets of people's lives, and we see little, pictures on Instagram, or, little videos here and there. I mean, I personally love to use Instagram and Instagram stories. It's a wonderful way for me to reach out to my audience, and it's a wonderful way for me to actually show little snippets of real life combined with, my ministry stuff. And so I am very, though, aware of the fact, and sometimes this actually bothers me. I mean, all the time it bothers me, but sometimes it's really bothered me to the point of like almost quitting, is that people who don't know me at all, like have never met me in real life, are going to think they know who I am based on those little snippets. Not because there's anything wrong with them. It's like what we do as humans, right? We see these little snippets and then we think we know. But we have to be really careful to take things and, like enjoy what we see, and listen to others in those little snippets and things like that. But we have to be very careful not to create a narrative in our mind. And like I said, I know I've done this. Like I'll see things and I'm kind of thinking like I know what's going on in someone's life based on 3 pictures they showed this week, or I think I know how someone is feeling, or and it can go down such a bad path, like I said, this whole narrative. And that's really not a biblical way to have relationships. Number one, I mean, real life is so important, in real life connections, so that you can kind of discern, what somebody else is thinking, and you don't just make up a whole narrative in your head. I have seen divisions. I have seen like, divisions in relationships happen that probably wouldn't have happened if we didn't have like the internet and stuff. Because what happens is we see people interacting with each other and we think, oh, we know like what they're doing, or like, I don't know. I've just seen like a lot of division happen because people see something, but then they make up a whole story that may or may not be true, or maybe part of it is true, but it's not always true. So we have to be careful of false teachers out there, and definitely false teachers. But I want to remind you to be careful of your own mind. And it's so important these days to get together with people in real life. Actually, I'll share with you, a couple of years ago, something happened to me where I was communicating with somebody via email, and I was reading their tone totally wrong. I know we've all done this. And I was taking it totally the wrong way. And I made up a whole narrative in my head about this person being kind of difficult, and maybe they were annoyed with me and using a certain tone, which I don't know why we think we know someone's tone in email. That's a whole nother thing, right? And I had this whole narrative in my mind, honestly. Boy, was I convicted, because when I actually saw this person in person a little while later and we got to talk about the thing that we were emailing about and we got to talk in person, I was so wrong. This poor person was going through a very difficult time. The narrative I made up in my mind was so far off, it wasn't even funny. And I had so much compassion then because this person was going through something. And I realized too, even if they were using a tone or they were sounding a little like angry or something, they had been going through such an awful time. And boy, was I convicted at that time to really make sure that I get to know people in real life, face to face, eye to eye. And I know sometimes that's harder these days with all that's going on, but hey, you can FaceTime somebody and look at them face to face if you need to, if you can't be together. And this is something I struggle with because I am such a tech communicator. I like text, I like email, I don't like phone calls, but I do like in person. I really do like in person. But I can be an introvert where I want to just be home and like I love my house and I just want to be home. But it's so good when you actually like connect. That's why I love when I'm able to do real life events and conventions and retreats, because I get to connect with people. It takes me out of my mind and my narrative about people, and you have that human connection. So be careful that you don't listen to your own lies sometimes. Make sure you know what you know, what you know. And make sure you don't have preconceived notions about other people that may not be true. We all have such a backstory. We all have so much going on behind the scenes. I feel like if we all could just get a glimpse of like all of that, we would have such a different compassion for others. We would have such a different view of others. You know, we would see things so differently if we really got behind the scenes. So I encourage you, connect with people in real life. Don't listen to the lies in your head or the stories you make up. Don't let your mind go down that path. Don't let your mind take you and deceive you about who someone else is. And like I said, I think it can be very easy these days to do that just because we only get a glimpse of people. So I'm not sure what the answer is, except that, you know, try to remember that just because you think something about someone doesn't make it true. Unless you've like been with them a lot and you know everything going on. Let's not make assumptions about people. We never know what's going on behind someone's, you know, highlight reel on the internet. We never know what's going on or what has gone on in someone's life to make them, maybe if they're a little difficult or, you know, they're a little hard to get along with, maybe they've been through the ringer. Maybe they need grace and love. And so I think as women, if we could not make narratives in our head of what we think everybody is and really get together with people to know who they are, that would make things so much better. So I'm going to challenge you guys in that. If you find yourself doing that, like I have in my own life, or like I said, I've seen people, you know, have relationships like, you know, divided over some stuff that wasn't even really true. Tell yourself that you're not going to do that. You're going to base, you know, what you know on what you truly know and not just your, you know, what you think you know. And try to get together with people, connect with them on the phone so you can hear them, or best case in real life, while the weather's beautiful out. You know, if you're worried about getting together with people in person, it's beautiful weather still this fall. Get outside, meet somebody at the park for a cup of coffee. I've been meeting my friend. We've been going for a walk the past 2 weeks. We've done it. It's just been lovely to like get out of your own head, really. I think we all would do a world of good if we got out of our own heads and just, you know, connected with others in that very real and authentic way.